economic interest. Okay. It's better Taiwan can join, but it's impossible at the present. So it's better, no deal. Okay? Yes, gentlemen, there.
Hello, my name is Milo. My name is Milo. I intern at the Department of 2049 Institute. My question is on, so you have a lot of comprehensive data for your analysis. I was wondering where are the sources that, where do you go to find those data?
Okay, very good. This is talk about how do I get those results. Okay, for the simulation of the models, I use the data from GTAP, Global Trade Analysis Project, GTAP, 9.0, okay. That's a data bank. So at the Purdue University, and probably all the trade economists, all the research institutes use that set of the data. Even the US International Trade Commission, ITC, they use that set of the data, okay? Now you say, how do I get the result? Okay, as I said, that is a methodology, you know. I have to give you my more than 200 simultaneous equations. Because my model has 18 countries. Each country has 33 sectors. So you see your disk calculator, 18 countries times 33. And each country has a different scenario. I have 8 scenarios times 8. It's thousands of simultaneous equations. So if you study economics, then you look at the computable general equilibrium model, CGE models, computable general equilibrium model. All right, and there's different versions. US ITC uses the same models to do the simulation about their trade deal too. All right, the difference is what the researcher has a different assumption on the parameters. Right? That's why I say, you know, go over the PowerPoint and take more than 3 hours, maybe at all costs. Yeah. Right. Good. Where you mentioned the question. Do you study economics? No?
Yeah, I do some data.
Are you majoring in economics?
No, international relations.
International relations, okay. Yeah. Any other questions? I cut that part, okay? I cannot come here and show you that the 2,000 simultaneous equations, but they were fast asleep. Some of you walk away, right? So I show you the result, but I'm telling you the methodology. Other questions? Anybody want to go over some of the PowerPoint?
One more question there.
There's a question over there. Okay, I can see. Yeah.
I would like to ask that what is the most potential country in Asia? It's Taiwan need to invest. Like there are many investments in ASEAN countries, like by Japan or China,
Yeah.
and they have also improved in their many years. And so, which country do you think that is more potential for Taiwan to develop, like FDA or like some partnership?
Which country?
Yes, or like some. We have to make some priority or some. Like,
Well, the Taiwanese government liberalized the outward foreign direct investment in 1980s, late 1980s, right? The first round of the Taiwanese capital, as I say, went to Southeast Asia, Malaysia, Thailand, all right, and some other countries. But in 1997, 1998, there was an Asian financial crisis. So some of those Taiwanese companies shifted from Southeast Asia to China. And after 1992, China, Deng Xiaoping has a tour Nanxun, South Korea, which reaffirmed that China will go to economic reform. So that a big push force for those capital to China from Southeast Asia. But as I say, the trade war can reverse the direction. The businessmen are sharp, much sharp than scholar. Their reaction are much quicker than government. All right. When they find some symptom or some phenomena, they shift their investment quickly. All right. One example. After Vietnam was admitted to the CPTPP or the original TPP, some of the Taiwanese textile companies already revitalized their production site in Vietnam. All right. So if you live in this country, you go to Bloomingdale, you want some of the clothes, textile, it's made in Vietnam. I can assure you, a great percentage of those clothes you purchase from Bloomingdale or Macy, even though they type of made in Vietnam, those are Taiwanese products. All right. So Vietnam, particularly after the U.S.-Vietnam relationship improved, is a big potential. And then I'm glad to hear that Taiwanese government now also emphasize on India and Indonesia. Those are two largest, labor surplus country. Indonesia probably is the largest population in the Muslim world. All right. And also Taiwan explained a great deal of its relation with India too. All right. If you go to Taipei, you will find lots of those students, international students are from India, because the Indian government, as far as I know, they request Taiwan to double the scholarship for them to study in Taiwan. So this is the ongoing process. It takes a while to evaluate the end result. Okay. Other questions?
Yeah,
Yes,
I've got
again,
another one.
no problem.
So recently, I'm actually doing a research on the how does the China outflow of FDI affected the Belt Road countries along the way, and from the data, I would like to ask some technical question.
Okay.
When running the OOS methodology and we're trying to find the statistical significance in between these two variables, and I feel like for some countries, the outflow of the China FDI does not really statistically or significantly affected the GDP growth of some countries on the way. But I would like to ask, maybe for some qualitative analysis from Professor, whether you have some explanations.
Okay, if you're asking what is the impact, what is the effect of the FDI
On the GDP growth.
on the GDP in the host country,
I mean the Belt Road, yeah.
in the host country, right? Then I think this is has to be varying from country to country. Right? And the other is that
But when running the regression in between.
yeah, when you run in the regression, you can get some insignificant result. That is not unusual. Okay, but I have a student, actually graduate student, finished already. He surveyed about more than 400 articles on the impact of FDI on the economy.
Yeah.
All right, and of course there are some insignificant, but some of them are very significant. It all depends on which country, what time period, and also what kinds of investment they do.
Okay.
Okay, so we don't put the FDI as one unit. It depends on country specific and what time period, and number two, what kinds of industry. That's a very good question. Yeah.
Mr. Chow, I have one more question.
Yes, President Go. Okay.
Since the tariff against China was started from when last year, right?
Right.
10% on $20 million import.
Right.
And and another 25% import since May of
Right.
this year. And how come, well, supposedly you increase the tariff, the price of the import material, the import stuff the price going to go up, right?
Yeah.
So how come we still don't see any inflation in the American economy?
Okay, very good questions. Very good. Yes. In international business, this is a more the serial trade, but on the actual business, the importer and exporter has a different ways to transfer the price. All right. If the importer has a lot of the profit from import from China, right, they can absorb part of the tariff and not transfer to the consumer. All right. So the pricing policy. Number one is the pricing policy of the importer, and which is what not only industry specific, but also product specific. Number two is that how significant is the product to the cost of the consumer. One example. U.S. imposes tariff on aluminum, right? To what extent, which affect your cost of living? Those of you who drink a Budweiser beer, do you know the Budweiser beer, the beer can? Because of the tariff, the cost of the Budweiser will increase to 4 cents. 4 cents. But not everybody drink Budweiser beer, right? And you don't drink a beer every day, right? So 4 cents in your cost of living, which is very minimal, so the inflation rate didn't go up, right? So it depends on how significant is the product in the overall price. And number three is what? They can, as I said, they can ship the import order to other countries, right? Which may increase it. The price may be a little bit higher, but it's not such a big thing. And number four is my research finding is that some of those products imported from abroad, from China, actually the U.S. also have a domestic production too. All right. So U.S. domestic producer, even though their cost is higher than China, import from China, but because of the tariff on China, the domestic producer also increase their production. We call this import substitution. Import substitution. All right. So there are various reasons to explain that the cost of living didn't jump that high. Peterson Institute of International Economics, which I cited, PIE. There's one study which showed that every American household will have to pay $414 in 2018 because of the tariff. $414 per household, which probably don't affect your cost of living that much, right? Because you are wealthy people, right? And you don't drink beer every day, right? 4 cents of the can, the cost of the aluminum can, add on top of the beer, it's insignificant. Any other questions? And also, China didn't, China didn't cut his import of soybean from the U.S. that much. China government imposed a tariff on import from the U.S., right? And so, those tariffs, because it's state trading, so those importers in China, they receive the subsidy. So that in terms of the soybean in China, it didn't raise that much. Okay. Soybean. That the government imposed a tariff, right? But on the other hand, it's a state trading, so government subsidizes China's import. So it's a transfer of the money. Other questions? So please, if you want to use the PowerPoint, that's fine, and please go over it. When you talk to the congressman, talk about the U.S. and Taiwan economic trade relations, please try to advocate what I say here. And if you need more data to show the congressman to support the bill, I'd be happy to, supply to you. And a few years ago, I have a simulation about the U.S.-Taiwan free trade agreement, the impact on the U.S., in which I will have to update it. I have to update it because the data change so quickly. But the simulation results show is very, very positive for the U.S. All right, even though in terms of the dollar amount, in terms of percentage, because of Taiwan's economy, the size of the GDP is something like 500 plus billions US dollars, right? That's a little bit more than $500 billion. And the US size of GDP is about 21 trillion. So the impact in terms of the GDP is not so sizable. But for some specific industry, like a service industry, like agriculture, the congressman would be very interested to know it's truly an advantage to support the trade bill. So you will be able to help my research output to materialize and make a trade deal with the US. Therefore, the economy in our common homeland will continue to grow and prosper. Okay? Thank you so much.